Hello, everyone. Again, I'm sitting here at my dining room table. I spend a great deal of time these days at this table. I just got off the phone with someone who I hired to do some work here at the house, and the work was not satisfactory. And so I called up the company to complain, and they're a very good company, and they have excellent, you know, customer services. So they were very accommodating and very apologetic that I was not at all pleased with the work that they had done. And they are sending another person out to redo the work and to redo it with the specifications that I had originally ordered. And when I got off the phone with them, I thought about, you know, I wonder if there is a place or we could develop a system where if a family member or a community person was not particularly happy with the quality of care that we are providing folks who have mental health disabilities or people who are mentally ill, if there's some way that we could design a kind of customer care center that we could then call folks up and say, I'm not at all happy with the fact that I see people walking down my street illy dressed, panhandling, and living in a facility that I know is getting major bucks for them. Or I could call someone up and say, there is a man who walks down the street with everything that he owns in a shopping cart, screaming to high heaven because the voices in his head are so loud. And he screams racial obscenities, which constantly puts him in a position of being attacked. And every time I see this man, his physical appearance has declined and he has some bandage on his head where he has yelled at somebody and someone not understanding that those are the voices in his head that are telling him to act inappropriately and yell these obscene things at people, and they attack him. Is there someone I can call and say, is there something we can do about this? Because I'm a dissatisfied customer. I don't know. But if we can call up a place that installed a garbage disposal, and I was not happy with the way the installation was done, or not happy with the quality of the garbage disposal, and all I had to do was call the company up and make a complaint, and they're now going to send out a person to reinstall it. Not only going to give me another garbage disposal, but are going to bump it up a little bit, give me a more expensive one because I've had such trouble with the one that they installed originally. You know, when does an appliance become more important than people? When do we put more value on material products than we put on human beings, children of a loving God? When do we do that? Why do we do that? I don't know. I don't know. I do know that folks who are chronically and persistently mentally ill in California are getting the short end of the stick. It's almost like when one of our folks who are persistently and chronically mentally ill act out because one of their voices or several of their voices tell them to do these deplorable things, these heinous crimes, that we run to the hills. We don't embrace that person. We go and testify before various groups that are trying to pass different legislation, be it Laura's law or be whoever, whatever it is, but they're trying their best to have something on the books that would tantamount to be like a customer service call, that they are not satisfied with the level of service that this person is getting, and that we fight. I understand why we fight. I understand about human rights. I understand about civil rights. You know, I went to a segregated school. I'm a child of the 50s. I lived through the white only sign. You know, I know what it is like to have your civil rights violated every day because of a number of things, because of the color of your skin, because of maybe, you know, who you are, the way you speak, your sexual orientation, your mental health uh, capacity, or your mental health disabilities. I mean, I get it. I know about that. I know about it in a way that I'm not sure a lot of folks who are out there yelling and screaming about civil rights and forced commitments really do know about it or feel it the way that I have experienced it. But you know, calling this company about this garbage disposal that does not work and it's not doing the job and getting this immediate response from them, apologetic response, that they're going to send out a technician to take that one out and put a whole new one in, really got me to thinking about uh, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get the same level of service for human beings? You know, if we get the same level of service, if we could pick up the phone and make a call and say, you know, the man who has been walking down the street yelling to the top of his lungs these racial obscenities is going downhill. Every time I see him, he's looking, you know, his physical health is declining. He's looking worse and worse. Or the woman who's walking down the street really quickly with this long flowing wig, she's declining. She's looking worse and worse. Or the guys and the women who are in state hospital are losing the battle and they're in a place that's supposed to be providing care. I am a customer and I'm not satisfied. Can you do something? Can you do something? And so I guess that's my key to stop rambling because that's my phone. But I really do believe that, you know, we need to develop a better system of care where the folks who pay the taxes and the folks who are concerned about the level of care that chronically and persistently mentally ill people get can call someone up and say, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. And that you get the same kind of response that I got from a stupid damn garbage disposal. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I have on this pen, and I hope I'm trying to figure out how I can show it to you, but it is this pen here, and I got this pen. See it? Anyway, can you see it? It's kind of crooked now, but I got this pen at a conference that uh, the Cal Mesa has, which is a you know funding source. They're putting on a social media campaign that says every mind matters. Every mind matters. I think that's a powerful statement. I wish it was true. I wish that every mind did matter in the state of California. I wish the minds of the chronically and persistently mentally ill folks mattered in California. I wish that we had ways of providing these people services that could somehow go back and recapture their childhood dreams, because I'm quite sure that their childhood dreams were not to be walking down the street yelling facial obscenities or in the middle of the street, walking really quickly, smelling really bad, uh, or sitting on a ward of a state hospital. That was not the childhood dreams of people who are chronically and persistently mentally ill. And I'll say one other thing, and then I'll stop. You know, there are ways in which we as mental health consumers are in denial about a very, very small uh, group of us, and those of us who those are the folks who are chronically and persistently mentally ill. It's like when one of those folks creates or commits a heinous crime. It's like we run for the hills and we talk about, that's only a very small percentage of us, and we oppose any laws that would infringe upon our civil rights, and it's like we distance ourselves from those folks. But those folks are God's children too. And those folks need those of us who understand, who have battled with chronic and persistent mental illness, and who, by the grace of God, have battled back and now have the ability to make decisions about our lives. We need to think about ways to put them in the same position we're in. I know that there are lots of you who do not believe in forced treatment, and I'm not exactly sure where I come down on it. I can only talk about my story. I was forced into treatment, plain and simple, forced into treatment by my family, by the courts, and that's for a different story. Uh, that's for the writing that I'm doing currently. But there are times when, putting people in limited situations is not always bad. I think that's what's bad is the oppositional politics that we are involved in now. Whether you fall down on either side of outpatient commitments, whether I don't know where you fall. I'm not even sure where I fall, but wherever you fall, I know that the guy who's walking down the street yelling obscenities and getting hit upside the head by some weak ego person who doesn't have the ability to tell that the man is battling his own demons. Uh, I'm sure he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that argument. Um, and I don't think a lot of folks who are sleeping under those bridges care about those arguments. I think that they care about getting out of pain and getting their lives improved and being able to find some peace because I know that they are not at peace. Their spirit is not at peace. And I think that's what they care about. So maybe we could work on developing a customer service where I can call up and say, all these people walking up and down Tuolumne Street in Vallejo who are supposed to be well cared for by this corporate healthcare conglomerate are not well cared for, and I am a customer and I'm not satisfied. I want you to do something about it. Or all of the chronically and persistently mentally ill folks, I can say, I'm a customer and I'm not satisfied with the way these folks are getting treatment. You need to do something about it. And somebody would really listen. And somebody would really do something. Isn't that a novel idea? Thanks, y'all.